This is Disneyland News Today. I'm Tom Corliss. Here now are the top Disneyland resort stories for February 23rd, 2023. The platinum Mickey statue honoring 100 years of the Walt Disney Company has been returned to Main Street, USA at Disneyland, this time with the correct Walt Disney quote. The statue was installed for the 100 Years of Wonder celebration in late January with the incorrect quote, "It all started with a mouse." The full original quote by Walt Disney was actually, "I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse." It's a minor difference, but still a misquote of the company's iconic founder and maybe his most iconic quote. The Mickey statue was removed within a couple of weeks and has returned with the correct quote. Instagram user Rachel Goes to Disney shared photos with us of the replaced Mickey statue. He's in the planter at the front end of Main Street. The banner on his base now reads, "It was all started by a mouse." The incorrect quote, of course, was one of just many recent errors at the Disneyland Resort this year on signage. Too many for me to mention right now. It's been a lot of them. A standby queue is now available for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Disneyland. The ride opened on January 27th with a virtual queue and individual lightning lane only, but guests will be able to join the regular queue as of today. The virtual queue will be discontinued, but may be put back in use at any time, Disney warns. The purchase of individual lightning lane will still be available. Of course, they warned this for Rise of the Resistance as well, and that never came back either, so I wouldn't necessarily count on it. But nonetheless, you can now wait in a standby line for Runaway Railway. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disneyland Park will be closed for refurbishment beginning on April 3rd, 2023. The Disneyland calendar only goes through then, so a reopening date for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is not yet available. It'll likely be a relatively basic refurbishment and probably won't be very long. The attraction will last closed for a 2-month refurbishment in late 2021. Construction work began last month on transforming Pacific Wharf and Disney California Adventure into San Fransokyo from Big Hero 6, but Disney has released more concept art and information about the new land, which is scheduled to be completed this summer. Later this summer, during the Disney 100 celebration at Disneyland Resort, you'll be able to step into a new area named San Fransokyo Square and discover new offerings inspired by Baymax and his friends. San Fransokyo Square will transport you to the not-too-distant future in a fictional mashup of two iconic cities, San Francisco and Tokyo. As the tech industry began to emerge and the local fishing trade fell on hard times, entrepreneurs came together to reinvent the seaside canneries into a vibrant, multicultural district of neighborhood restaurants and small businesses where you'll be able to eat and shop. An iconic landmark of the area will be the San Fransokyo Gate Bridge, which will span the tide pools linking San Fransokyo Square to Paradise Gardens Park and the obelisk. Once you cross the bridge, you'll catch a view of the floating wind turbine atop an old fishing net tannery, powering the district from high in the sky. Clues to the area's storied and charming past can be found in the details throughout San Fransokyo Square. And outside a converted warehouse at the south end of San Fransokyo, you may have the opportunity to encounter Baymax. Today, Pacific Wharf is home to eateries featuring sourdough bread, ice cream sundaes, delicious Mexican fare, Asian dishes, and more. And Disney says you'll still be able to enjoy all your favorite Pacific Wharf dining locations during this transformation. Notice they said nothing about after that. When the transformation of San Fransokyo Square is completed this summer, you'll find familiar favorites like soups and freshly baked bread bowls, as well as many new Asian-inspired selections. The new Port of San Fransokyo Cerveceria draws inspiration from its tricultural influences with signage in English, Japanese, and Spanish. Outside will be a fun and inviting beer garden decorated with festoon lights and papal picado. New signage up near the soon-to-be renamed Pacific Wharf shows off the logo for the San Fransokyo Public Works Department, which is the in-story area handling the upcoming San Fransokyo Square construction project at Disney California Adventure. With the bridge near Paradise Gardens Park and Pixar Pier currently closed for its transformation into the Golden Gate Bridge-esque Tory Gate Bridge, guests are currently being redirected to the entrance near Cars Land for Pacific Wharf. And on that new directional sign, we see this new logo for the Public Works Department. It's amazing they're going to operate all this through then, and that's kind of a major thoroughfare of that bridge to be closed. But obviously, if they're going to turn it into this Tory Gate-looking bridge, that's that needs to be closed for that to happen. I'm going to stop and weigh in for a moment. I saw there was a lot of public discourse on this project, and it does most definitely give me Pixar Pier vibes, right? Which Pixar Pier, let's remember the roots of Pixar Pier. Pixar Pier began as a seasonal event thing. So when it was first pitched, they were going to, as part of Pixar Fest, you would have had an overlay, a temporary overlay of California Screamin' and some other little things here and there. During the Bob Chapek administration, it was decided that we want to infuse more IP into the parks. Can we work with our partners at Pixar? And how quickly How quickly could we turn this area, Paradise Pier, into a Pixar-themed area? Could we do it quickly? Could we do it cheaply? That was the thing that was definitely said. And would it affect attendance? Would it help with revenue from food and beverage and merchandise, et cetera? This project screams that again. Again, we want something open for the summer to entice people to come this summer. And in the end, there's not a whole lot going on here, right? So they're getting rid of the Karl Strauss beer truck. They're moving the Karl Strauss beer truck and putting the Baymax meet and greet in that space. And then essentially to fill the gap of the beer truck, what was the very short-lived snack window at Cocina Cucamonga, they're finally blowing out those windows and turning that into the, I'm going to butcher this again, the cerveceria. It's a hard word for me to say. And that's a majority of the changes. Otherwise, like, I will say this, usually you see concept art, and even if a project isn't great, concept art is usually an attractive thing to see. It's usually exciting, even if the project's not great. This concept art, for me, is not exciting because it really just looks like someone drew the existing land and then drew a very light decor package over it, right? The bridge is a little more intense. But if you really look at what they're doing, otherwise they're painting walls, they're throwing up some lights, they're throwing some big generic port of San Fransokyo letters, something you'd see at, I mean, true to life, right? I mean, that's something you see if you go to like Chelsea Pier or New York or somewhere in San Francisco. Like it's very true to life, but it is also kind of generic and very real world and not. I'm excited about the wind turbine thing because that actually sounds kind of otherworldly and interesting. But otherwise, this feels very much like Pixar Pier, and in some cases, I think between the art and what it looks like the level of, what's the word I'm looking for? The level of investment is in this. It looks worse than Pixar Pier. Like it looks like it's going to be even, perhaps a little more forced, perhaps a little, a little less. Like, don't get me wrong, I do not like Pixar Pier. There are parts of Pixar Pier where I'm like, oh, okay, this is improved, right? I think not necessarily retheming the fun wheel, but the entrance arch at the fun wheel, absolutely better than what was there. The Bing Bong facade and the little stage facade next door to that, certainly better. The entrance to the land over by Lamplight Lounge, certainly better. And then I feel like the whole middle, I feel like the Toy Story section with the big chicken box, and Incredicoaster, probably my least favorite Disney attraction on earth, if I'm being honest. I think they did an awful job. I think it's one of the worst things they've ever done. Throw a bunch of statues up on an attraction and the baby, as I've coined the phrase, the babies on sticks, the Jack-Jacks on the rooftop of Toy Story Mania. I hate that project. I've always disliked that project. And it feels like, in general, you can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. The Disneyland audience in general has not really endeared themselves to Pixar Pier. At no point, I don't hear anyone really talk about it anymore. It doesn't seem like it's a reason people really go there. Lamplight Lounge, sure. Like, Lamplight Lounge is a big hit. But otherwise, I don't feel like anyone believes that was an improvement in any way. And I kind of feel like the San Fransokyo thing's going to be similar if it really just is what this art indicates. Now, I tend to believe this is a phase one. I don't think these restaurants are going to stay as is. You may remember the art they showed at D23 Expo specifically showed that the Pacific Wharf Cafe, where the Bodine Bakery is, that specifically was labeled as the Lucky Cat Cafe from Big Hero 6. So my assumption was that was going away. I thought the meet and greet was going to go in where the bread tour was, but that's not going anywhere yet. But I tend to believe a couple of these eateries in this land are not going to make it. I am sure a Lucky Cat Cafe is going to happen, and I'm convinced at this point that they don't feel it's a good time to lower the dining capacity at the park. And so I don't know if they're going to try to make it to the fall and then close one of the restaurants, and that way at least like the meet and greet's operating in the cerveceria, and there's enough happening over there where people still venture in, and it won't matter that a restaurant is down. But we'll wait and see. But personally, this is IP for IP's sake is never the right choice. I don't think this is a good placement of this. if you're going to do a Big Hero 6 land, it should be a new thing. It should probably have an attraction. It being like a series of restaurants with a meet and greet and this bridge, which, by the way, we won't even get into the controversy. A number of Japanese guests wrote in when they first showed the bridge and said they felt it was offensive that there was a Torii Gate bridge, but that people are going to walk through. But we'll wait and see. I'm not terribly excited. This again, they were on such a good road with California Adventure. That first expansion, the work they did to Paradise Pier, didn't make it the best theme park land, but certainly made it better. Silly Symphony Swings is super cute. Fun Wheel was better. The games of the boardwalk vastly improved. World of Color, great show. And then Buena Vista Street and Cars Land on top of that. This fantastic, beautiful entry land. And then one of the best lands ever built at any Disney theme, or any theme park for that matter, on Earth, which is still better than most stuff either Disney nor Universal is pumping out at this point, by the way. They were on such a good track. And then even the Grizzly Peak Airfield project, was a beautiful update. Beautiful update. And we're just kind of waiting for, okay, they're going to get to Hollywoodland next. That'll be great. And instead it was, during the Chapek years, we took a hard right and went back over what we had done just 8 years earlier on Paradise Pier and made it Pixar Pier. And never really finished the pier and left it with this weird Paradise Gardens Park secondary land that's connected to it. And again, this feels like more, and don't even get me started on Avengers Campus, which I don't like either. This just all feels wrong for this park, and I don't really know what they're doing. And IP for IP's sake is never a good idea. If you're gonna infuse IP into a park, it needs to be done in a thoughtful way. It needs to be done in an immersive way, and it needs to not be done in a cheap or haphazard way. And these quick, cheap overlays need to be a thing left with the Chapek era. They need to be left behind there, right? Again, I have no problem with IP all over the park, but it needs to be done right. But again, let us know in the comments. Maybe I love Big Hero 6. I like Baymax. I love the little subland in Tomorrowland in Tokyo where they did Happy Ride, and there's the little Baymax cat vending machines, and then Mochi sitting up on there. It's very cute, very charming, and again, all the little Baymax themed food in Japan is very cute too. So that prospect makes me excited, but in total, this concept art just does not. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, The Vacationeer, the engineers of your next magical vacation. Sit back and let their team of vacation planning experts craft your family's next magical Disney trip. The best part is their services are free. Visit wdwnt.travel for details. New warning signage has been installed at the load area of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at California Adventure to combat a new TikTok trend which flouts safety rules in favor of extra thrill. The new signage was installed this week and is prompted by a recent TikTok trend encouraging riders to improperly secure their seatbelts, according to the Orange County Register. A diagram of the seatbelt sits at the center of the sign, which reads, "Keep seatbelt securely fastened and tight against the waist. Failure to follow instructions may result in being asked to leave the park." Of course, it's extremely dangerous to not secure your restraint on any attraction, and it puts both your life and those of your fellow riders at risk, particularly on thrill rides like this where you're thrown into the air. Always follow the instructions of cast members and warning signage at attractions. What an era we live in where people are posting the dumbest things on social media, right? We cover them, right? Because it's kind of it's news. It needs to be talked about. But these things get dumber and dumber, right? And this is a whole new level of dumb. This is so far beyond all the other things people have done for clout. This is putting people's actual lives in danger. Safety rules on attractions are there for a reason, and the fact that we now have to print signs to combat moronic TikTok trends is just, what a sign of the times. What a sign of the times. Please, folks, don't break safety rules on theme park rides. Please do not do it. Beware creatures of the multiverse, as the fearsome Kang the Conqueror has escaped the quantum realm from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and made his way to Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure. The purple and green-clad supervillain, played by Jonathan Majors, is in the newly released Ant-Man film and other future MCU endeavors, appears by surprise in the campus to greet guests. His costume is very ornate, with plenty of metal and plastic to mimic the feeling of his armor from the film. Sadly, he does not have his blue helmet. The look continues even down to his purple metal boots and flowing black and green cape. You can watch our full greeting with Kang the Conqueror above. We were not conquered, believe it or not. I'm very happy to report Arlo's still with us. Kang was very glad to stop and chat about his plans for multiversal domination, though, when we found him. Since he has yet to meet the rest of the Avengers crew in this universe, we presume he's all clear to hang around for the campus at least for a little bit, but we don't know how long that's going to be for. No MODOK meet and greet, though. I was hoping. I just wanted to meet a giant face. Just give me a giant face meet and greet, please. Of course, we just mentioned Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania hit theaters last week, and tie-in merchandise is already available at Avengers Campus. When you're preparing to visit the Quantum Realm, you might be grateful to have your own Ooze Cauldron sipper handy for you so you can understand what everyone's saying. You can pick it up now with your meal at Pym Test Kitchen. The Ooze Cauldron is $27.79, and it's filled with Quantum Ooze Cherry. The Ooze Cauldron is made of gold plastic with a red orb at the center. A straw sticks out from one side. The lanyard is clipped onto the two rectangular handles on the sides. The drink itself is stored in the red plastic orb at the center. The top of the orb, as well as the three handles, pop off to allow for easy cleaning and refilling. The lanyard features Pym Technologies iconography, including a label for the Ooze Cauldron, a diagram showing it shrinking, and an experiment number 230217, referencing the release date of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's not my favorite Marvel film. This Ooze thing, I won't spoil it for people, is my favorite part of the movie. And so, while I don't love the movie, I'm so glad that this crazy weird cup is available, and I have to have one. Even though supposedly the drink, our review of the drink is not very good. But I love this sipper, just really cool looking. Disneyland Resort has shared the first concept renderings for the interior of the villas at Disneyland Hotel, which will open this September. We also found out the opening date. That's the first time we've heard that. Disney says, quote, the villas at Disneyland Hotel will blend timeless Walt Disney Animation Studios classics with contemporary designs, delicately curating a celebration of Disney history in the place where it all started, the Disneyland Resort. The 12-story Disney Vacation Club Tower will immerse you in discovering the creative storytelling process, bringing you some of your favorite Disney stories to life like never before in a variety of themed accommodations. This concept rendering shows a duo studio room inspired by the Jungle Book with art of Baloo and Mowgli above the bed. Deluxe studios that sleep up to 4 guests are themed to either Sleeping Beauty or The Princess and the Frog. A 1 or 2 bedroom villa sleeping up to 5 and 9 guests respectively is inspired by Fantasia or The Princess and the Frog. The villas include a washer, dryer, living area, and full-size kitchen. The rendering you're looking at now shows art of Tiana hanging in the dining area. A multi-level 3-bedroom grand villa will sleep up to 12 guests. The first floor has a full-size kitchen, large dining area, and a double-sided fireplace connecting the living room and the balcony. That's by far my favorite feature of these. The primary suite, inspired by Bambi, is also on the first floor. One of my favorite films, too. I got to stay in one of these, man. The second floor includes 2 bedrooms with ensuite bathrooms inspired by Frozen and Moana, plus a full washer and dryer. Reservations for the villas at Disneyland Hotel can be made beginning on March 15th for Disney Vacation Club members by contacting member services at 800-800-9800, and on March 16th for Disneyland Resort Magic key holders by contacting 714-956-6425. It'll then open to the public the next day. Villas are limited in availability and restrictions apply. It's subject to change or cancellation without notice. Again, bookings open to the public on March 17th, subject to availability. You can make a reservation online at that point at disneyland.com/villas Disneyland Hotel or by contacting 714-956-6425. What is wild about this is I cannot recall a Disney Vacation Club resort that opened first to DVC members, pass holders essentially, and guests before going on sale to the public. It's not on sale for any. No one can buy this and make this their home resort. So Disney Vacation Club members, it's open to them first, but that's with cash. That is not with points. So the theory, this is again completely a theory. No one has backed this up. We know nothing about this. The theory, Jason, who works here, had was that California state rules and regulations and the clearances they have to make first before they can sell it are a little more complicated, and they want to just start making money before they can even put it on sale. Maybe the on-sale date's going to be a couple weeks or months later, and they just want to start making some money off the hotel before that. That's our theory. Again, no proof of that, but it's the only thing that makes sense because, again, we have never seen them do this with a resort before. On the other side of things, they're a little bland. They're not awful. I've seen worse of the recent Disney hotels, but these are not terrible. They're still a little, I don't know, they're still a little unthemed for my taste. But that Grand Villa is super cool, right? If you stay that high on a Disneyland hotel building and look down, and you have a fireplace that's both on the balcony and inside, it's very cool. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel about the room interiors. Let us know in the comments how you feel about them. That being said, whatever I say is not going to impact it at all. Like, this is obviously, people are going to want to stay here. It's going to sell out. Reservations are going to sell out very quickly. And we assume the day, whenever that is, that it goes on sale for you to buy into it, it's going to sell out probably the first day and probably in very short order. So it doesn't matter what I have to say. The world wants a vacation club tower at the Disneyland Hotel. The exterior of the former Paradise Pier Hotel is starting to truly look different as painting work continues to transform the building into the upcoming Pixar Place Hotel. Colorful stripes were previously added to the side of the new Disney's Pixar Place Hotel that matched the colors of Pixar's Luxo Ball. The vertical columns between rooms, which were previously painted a tan color, are still being painted white to match the new Pixar motif. The white columns are being painted with a black border that helps the design pop. As a reminder to anyone who will stay at the hotel in the near future, the main entrance and check-in desk are closed for the transformation. It's kind of a wreck right now, and they're still charging people full price, so keep that in mind. Concept art for Disney's Pixar Place Hotel is on display inside the hotel as well. New discounts are available for guests staying at a Disneyland Resort hotel from March 12th through June 8th of 2023. Regular guests can save up to 15%, while Disney Visa card members can save up to 25%. Again, guests can save up to 15% at Disneyland Resort Hotel on Sunday to Thursday nights from March 12th through June 8th. The stay can be booked now through June 5th, and travel must be completed by June 9th. The offer is subject to availability and restrictions. There is a 15% off on both standard and premium room types at the Grand Californian. The same can be said for the Disneyland Hotel. And then at Paradise Pier Hotel, you could save up to 10% on both standard and premium room types. Then for Disney Visa card members, they're saving up to 25% on select premium room stays at the hotels of Disneyland Resort, valid Sunday to Thursday nights from March 12th through June 8th. The stay can be booked now through June 5th, and travel again must be completed by June 9th. Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa has 25% off premium room types. Disneyland Hotel, again, 25% off premium room types. And Pixar Pier, 20% off on premium room types. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all our WIGS members watching who make the show happen every week. For the absolute latest Disneyland news, head on over to DisneylandNewsToday.com and follow us on your favorite social media platforms, including TikTok, where we do not post about not buckling your seatbelt correctly. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. Also, hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of the show. For DLNT, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today, and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
WDW News Tonight is our weekly comedy show combining the news of the week, comedy segments, thoughtful discussions, insane characters, parody commercials, games, and more. Watch live on Thursdays at 9 p.m. and become a WIGS member to get access to a bonus post show. Watch WDW News Tonight episodes anytime and live on YouTube, or get the audio-only version on iTunes and other podcast services.